Hey, baseball fan, time for a little self-care and a few minutes of cardboard meditation. Welcome to the show that features some of baseball's oddest stories and the cardboard slabs that document them. Find peace and joy through baseball cards with your host, the big guy.
So I'm sitting here looking at some cards, some older cards, 60s. That Jim Perry card's really nice. And wondering about players back in this era. What were they paid from Topps and Bowman when they wanted to use their images? It might surprise you. You would think it's just a big cash outlay by the card manufacturers, but that's not the case. Not even close. So, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, right now on eBay, now let's see, what is today? Today is the 15th, June 15th, 2026. So it could be gone by the time you look at it. There's this thing out on eBay right now. And what it is, it's kind of like a large index card. You can see the Topps Vault certificate of authenticity there. Because it did come from them back in the, I want to say late 70s and early 80s. That's when I saw them a lot. Now, boy, I wanted a bunch of these. The one I saw was Rico Petrocelli, but this one here is Don Larson. And what it does is on this index card, it shows what gift Don chose for his image rights to the card company, to Topps Card Company. And up there in the corner, it talks about when he signed and what the year the card was. And you can see all the information here as to what it is. But what I find just most interesting is what he received in return for the use of his image for 1 year. I thought it was amazing. I think I'm going to show you exactly what it was. So if you will, hang on. We're going to get to that in just a minute. I will show you every card and what he got in return for that. I want to go over the whole process that the manufacturers of the cards did when it came to signing up baseball players for the baseball cards. See, they actually had catalogs, Sears catalogs, and the Spiegel catalogs, and players were allowed to pick out of those some items that they had listed in there. Now, a lot of people used to think back in the day, oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that. Topps had this magazine and they had to pick out of it. It wasn't Topps. It wasn't the Topps magazine. It was Spiegel or Sears. Cy Berger for the Topps Corporation would go from locker to locker in the locker rooms and sign guys up. And on the back of their contracts, there was actually a little box that they would check off that would either A, allow them to be paid cash, or they would like to get something from the catalogs. And that's how it was done. Now, players typically sign, exclusive contracts for a flat fee, which was around $125 to $250 a year. Some people chose refrigerators. Some chose television sets. Some chose, which I found really funny, radios, console radios. I don't know why I thought that was funny. It just seems like a small prize for the use of your image. And you might know, if you're my age, you might know the Spiegel name, and of course the Sears name, but the Spiegel anyway just appeared on a lot of game shows back in the 60s, like The Price is Right, Hollywood Squares, Wheel of Fortune, Let's Make a Deal. They would all have some mentions on those programs. So it wasn't any different. The ball players were choosing items from those magazines in exchange for their image rights. I just find it interesting. You don't normally think about it, but it's not always cash. So let's take a look at what Don Larson got for each one of his years as a player in the major leagues when he was covered by Topps for his baseball card. Now, Bowman did this too. It wasn't just Topps, but we've got some Topps information here, so let's take a look at it. So the very first baseball card Don had out was a 1957 card. The one that everybody really likes. Really a nice card. I like this card. out of all his cards, I think this one and his 1961 are the best cards. But anyway, 1957 was his first year on a card, and he took the cash. He did. He took $120. That does not sound like a lot of money, does it? $120 to have your image used, and even going all the way from 1957 right up to 2026. It's the same image. He's not getting reimbursed every year. There's no residuals or anything like that. He got paid once, and that was enough. $120. But you know what that's actually valued at in today's money? It's $1,422.15. That's nothing to spit at. So he took the money the first year. Now, his second year was the 1958 card, which I like a lot, but not as much as I do the first year. I think 58 cards are pretty colorful. I think that's probably why this appeals to me so much. But he, in 1958, decided to not take the cash, but he's going to go with this. This was a 9-piece patio set. Now, it probably wasn't this exact set. I'm not sure which one he would have chosen. There's no record of that. But it would look something like this. This is something he would put out on his porch or his patio and enjoy it for a whole year, maybe 2, maybe 3. It's pretty nice. I mean, for 1958, I think that I don't get it. I think I'd take the cash again, but that's what he did. 1958, maybe his wife had something to do with that. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at 1959. This is a classic card. This is a classic set. Everybody loves the 1959 set. And he was still with the Yanks at that time. So what did he choose for reimbursement of using his image in the 1959 year? Well, I think somebody needs to explain this to me, but it was this. A 6-piece hospitality set. Now, I'm not sure what that is. I think it might be containers, plates, dishes, that sort of thing that you would use, chafing dishes, all that stuff that you would use when you were having people over for dinner or, a Sunday meal or holidays or whatever. And this is what he took in return for using that image in 1959. A 6-piece hospitality set. It was a big thing back in the 50s and 60s, having people over, entertaining. You want to make sure you had the best stuff out on the table, I guess. Come over to my house. We're going to barbecue out back. You're going to eat on paper plates. That's the way it is. Let's take a look at the 1960 card. Now, this is the year he was with the Kansas City Athletics. But in 1960, he decided to take something that, I think might have been a smart move. This is Baumfitter furniture. This is what he chose for that image that you see on the 1960 card. Now, this furniture was pretty hip, pretty cool for its day, the early 1960s. It is that mid-century modern look. This stuff is still valuable today. It has retained its value. And if you had some of this, you could sell it. You could still make some money. I don't know if it would be worth the, $1,422 that, has the value of him signing at that time. But I think this is pretty cool. This would be something you could put out on your patio. Baumfitter furniture. Nice job, Don. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to 1961. This is, like I said, one of my favorite cards, other than the 1957 of his. 1961s are a lot like 1957s to me. Some of the cards are just absolutely gorgeous, just beautiful, and some of them are flat and have no character. And I think this one has a lot of character. 1961 Topps Don Larson card. And he is still with the Athletics in that card. And when they came around and said, Don, what would you like in return for us using your image in the 61 set? He said, I will take a 1961 RCA 19-inch portable TV. Look at it. It's really pretty cool. It's blue. That had to be something really different, really cool. And TVs were all the rage back then. It's just everybody wanted many TVs, and they were expensive. These were expensive. You wanted one in every room. You could just pick this one up and take it wherever you wanted to and plug it in and get your 3 channels. That was it. I look at these now and I just can't believe that people settled for that, but we did. And I say we because, yeah, I was one of them back in the late 60s and early 70s, and into the 80s for that matter. So that's what he chose for that 1961 card that I like so much. Coming up in 1962, he got a little smarter. Well, at least I think it's a little smarter. In 1962, he was with the San Francisco Giants. And with the Giants, he decided he was going to take the money. But, as you can see, it went from $120 to $125. So there was an extra $5 in that fee that he charged for that. And, I thought, what would that be worth? That had to be worth as much as it did back in 1957 that we talked about. But no, $125 was only worth $1,350.22. So just due to inflation, it was not as much money, even though it was more than he got paid in 1957. That's weird. I'd still take the money. Again, when 1963 rolled around, Don was still with the Giants. It's a classic card. And he decided to go with something a little cooler this time around. Much like that bomb fitter furniture that he took back in 1960, he decided to go with the Palak Clothing Certificate. So he picked this out of a catalog, and this was the clothing style that you see in the chic modern man at that time. The Mad Men, the TV show The Mad Men. They all dressed with that razor sharp suits. This was the clothing style that was used at that time. So Don got himself some really nice threads in 1963. Again, still with the Giants in 1964. Nice card. I love this classic look to this card with the team name at the top. And there were a lot of these kind of close-ups, but I'm okay with that. I like it. But in 1964, he decided to do something really special for the kitchen. He went with a dishwasher. 1964 GE dishwasher. Right out of this catalog, took that. Never going to get dishpan hands again, which was a big problem back in the 60s and 70s. Not really. But that's how they positioned themselves as not getting dishpan hands. You got yourself a bottle of Dawn or something, or you got a dishwasher. That's what he took for his 1964 card. Now, his last card was in 1965. And at that time, he was playing for the Astros. And again, it's a headshot. I noticed that there's a lot of headshots with him, and I didn't recall that when I decided to do this video. But here he is without a hat. That's never a good sign. You never know where he's going to be. But he was with the Houston Astros at that time, and his very last gift that he took out of the catalog was a set of Amelia Earhart luggage. And I saw that on this index card, and I kind of wondered, I don't mean to be insensitive here, but I'm not going to get some luggage that somebody who got lost and never came back with is named after. You got to get somebody who, didn't lose the luggage along with the plane. I know that's very insensitive and it's mean of me, but it's just one of those things. Anyway, that was what he chose for his 1965 and his final card with Topps Chewing Gum Company. And I just thought that this was a really cool item that was out on eBay. Might still be there. Don't know. But every ball player had one of these cards. Every ball player got either gifts from the catalog that they chose or they got cash. And I'm sure it's a lot better these days. You don't get the cheesy stuff like this. You get big money now. So congrats to those guys. Kind of eye-opening, isn't it? I tell you what, if I was a baseball player right now and they said, what do you want in return for your image on the baseball card? I'd go, I would like to have a complete autographed set of Topps baseball cards for every year. You got to go out and get them all signed for me. That would be an awesome thing, wouldn't it? Yeah, they wouldn't have to worry about that, I guess, as far as I was concerned. I was never a player, but what a great prize that would be. Talk soon.
Cardboard meditation helps set your mind right. Thank you for watching. Show us your appreciation by clicking the like and subscribe button. Ring the bell while you're at it so you'll know when we upload a new story.